Hello and welcome to another Near Reading cast. As always, my name's Johno and I'm Johno and James. How you doing, James?
Yeah, I'm excited for this game too, Johno, because we'll see one of the Oxford crowd losing.
That's true. We have an all-Oxford matchup in the loser semi-final of the double elimination. So the winner of this game will go on to face Neela in the final. And both of these are very strong Oxford players. So on the left, we have Ollie, who's the #1 seed coming out of the Swiss, playing his RP deck, which we've seen a couple of times. And on the right, we've got Seb, again, very big, very popular Reading player, and a very nice guy, playing his Leela deck.
Oxford player, Johno.
What did I say?
We can't. You said Reading.
I said Reading. Oh my god.
We can't claim as much as we'd
he's
like
not.
to.
No, he's not. He's an Oxford player. Oh, what an error. Okay, no. So he's playing his Leela deck. We have not yet seen him run because his debut was in the last elimination game. So it'll be interesting to see what he's got in his deck.
I think it's probably very similar to Dave Hoyland's absurd 17 econ card Leela deck.
Okay. So 2 us for RP and a remote. It's fairly standard, and then a Shore Gamblers into a Desperado and Dirty Laundry, presumably on archives, and then checking the remote. Very fast on both sides. And he decides to trash it.
Good discipline by the players to start off fast. RP games can go long, so.
Yeah, that's true. So, so RP draws and takes some credits. So what do we? I guess you need to start setting up as Ollie. We've seen in other games he can build up quite slow. He likes to ice remotes and just set up a couple of economy assets and then.
He's a very methodical player. All his ice is efficient. Probably no particularly shocking splashes.
So yeah, so Sunju is going to be a great help for him to get set up.
Well, that's what you just asked for, isn't it, Johnny?
Well, yeah,
sort out his economy
exactly
with
right,
some
yeah.
assets.
So
He ices it immediately too, which is very strong.
yes, that is. He'll leave pads uniced, but he'll ice Sunju, which I think is exactly the correct call.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So Seb's economic start goes on. He gets Katie's, which he's clicked a couple of times, in security testing. So
Yeah, brilliant start.
security testing not quite as good against RP because of the ability, but obviously still good.
If you can get in, then it's fine because you can make your annoying click to then run a remote run payback.
Also get money, yeah, and
It's quite good.
and not access, for instance, if Archives is full of shocks or somewhere, which it generally isn't in a top tier RP deck.
It's not. Dan Darginio set a precedent for toothless RP decks.
Oh yeah, that's true. He did.
But he did.
World's final. Yeah.
I think some of the other Americans got a lot of wins out of decks with snare and stuff in it because everyone was predicting it'd be the same deck list that Dan posted online for like 6 months previously or something.
Yeah. Well, 3 snares in every deck is well known, is my motto.
Yeah, it doesn't matter whether it's MBN, Wayland,
Yeah.
or Priory, to be honest. Jono loves the snare. It's kind of funny when we have to play you because you just have to respect snare in every situation. It's absurd.
That's right. And everything I install is a trap. So, such strong economy from Seb. I mean, it's all over the place. Yeah, and he's been security testing on archives, so on ice. If you're RP, do you consider icing archives?
Yeah, you have to.
So we've got some good gifts. Of particular interest is a Caprice.
There's a pad. You saw the Viper there as well.
There's a Viper and a head fund and celebrity gift.
So Ollie's alright for money then?
That's true, yeah. So
Both sides very rich.
So he installed ice on archives on click 3. Wonder what that could be, James.
I think it's probably the Viper.
I'd say that's probably a good guess.
It's pretty taxing, especially if you're not running Atman.
But surprisingly, Seb then ran it. So I thought, for security testing, I thought that was a strange call. He knew it was a Viper. Maybe he just wasn't paying attention.
Well, fatigue starts to come in.
Well, yeah, so this is, I mean, we must be like 8 hours into the day by now, if not more.
It was a long day.
Yeah, it was a long day for the Store Championship. A lot of the elimination games went long.
It's a longer day than the regional for some reason.
Yeah, that's true.
for you because there's loads of RP around.
So, having faced the Viper, he declined to pay into either the trace, so he lost the click and in the run. So he decided to run R&D on click 3 and obviously, click 4.
That's kind of dangerous because these guys know each other's decks, and if that had been like say a Marcus, he could have had to trash one of his installed cards, none of which he wants to do.
Yeah, that's true.
He doesn't want to lose the sec testing. He doesn't want to lose the Desperado or the KT.
He did run on click 3, so he had a click spare in case it wasn't Marcus.
Sure. And that's obviously the right play.
Yeah, he chose to end the run and click KT instead. So we have, you can see this hand creeping in. So bizarrely, Brendan, so often the murderer of Reading players, was acting as netrunner butler for Seb on top table, which is very strange.
Just passing Seb all his tokens and stuff.
Yeah.
I felt a bit sorry for Ollie, who was also an Oxford player but didn't.
Yeah, had to do it on his own.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Seb using his own hand to move tokens. What is this? And stacking his credits on his ID. I hate this. It's right next to the KT.
Yeah.
It's the only illegal place to place your credit pool in the game.
So he installs the Mimic and runs the Sundew. So that is a nasty face check. He was obviously hoping it was. He was just ensuring it wasn't something nasty.
That's a great pull.
And loses a shutdown and a fem, which both would have been very useful.
Yeah. This will get transitioned into the scoring remote later in the game.
I'd say that's true. I mean, fem obviously will be very nice for
Tollbooth, which we know
Ollie's running in his deck, yeah. And shutdown is obviously great against anything that costs 8 to res.
Yeah. So. Great pulls. Nice fingers from Ollie.
So more gifts.
TFP, just what you want to see.
Quite similar, but we do see a Future Perfect.
More money as well.
Yeah, Morley Thorns and Lotus Field with the 2 pieces of ice, and still a Caprice.
Got to be very careful with net damage against when you're playing with Criminal.
That's right, because you can lose the crucial pieces.
He's got the Mimic down, which is important. He knows. I think he knows Ollie's not playing Grail.
Yeah, I mean, Wall of Thorns was just a surprise card. I mean, it's not often played, so
yeah,
you can wander into it.
It's really. I think this was before Lady got. Was it before Lady got? No, this was after Lady got released. Which kind of just makes mincemeat of it, unfortunately.
That's true. But
one credit more than an Eli. Yeah, amazing card.
Yeah. So we've got an install in a remote, and it's iced.
It's probably a Caprice, isn't it?
Double iced, in fact. So you think Caprice or maybe Engender?
I think it's probably the Caprice, and he's ready to score the TFP next turn. Seb's nowhere in terms of his breaker suite. He's got loads of money.
That's true. Yeah, he can't get. I mean, there's no sentries rezzed, so the Mimic's not exactly doing work at the moment.
I mean, he had to put it down in case of net damage. We saw in the final for Worlds, Min lost his Mimic, and it was pretty luckily, much game over.
He runs R&D and pulls for one access, pulls an NPD, having spent 2 clicks by the Eli. Talk about well timed. He bounces the remote.
Nice. You might see an inside job.
Yeah, you'd like to see that.
Inside job into trashing Caprice would be awesome.
He decides to use Katie instead. He obviously doesn't have it in hand. So more ice and R&D. More economy. So what was the ice we saw before? Wall of Thorns and Lotus Field. So what do you reckon? That's probably Lotus Field and R&D? No, maybe not.
I think the Lotus Field is on the remote because Ollie might assume that Seb's also playing Passport. And it forces a different breaker. We can see that he has the Zoo in hand though.
Yeah, and he's drawn more cards as well, so it could be none of those. So Seb's still naming the pad for security testing, although he hasn't used it for a couple of...
I wonder where he's going to run before he can run there. There aren't very many appealing options right now.
Well, he could bounce an R&D until now.
Yeah.
So he's got a face check. He doesn't really want to wander into Viper again.
No, he just lose a click.
Yeah.
Or pay for...
He could pay 3 credits for the click.
Yeah, but why would you do that? It ruins your security testing economy.
Yeah, that's right. It's
pointless. Just sitting on Katie.
So he's... he's loading up. Corroder's useful though. And Zoo.
So
Zoo.
here's the full breaker suite. He's got loads of money. Suddenly, Seb in a strong position.
Yeah, he can unload Katie and go to town.
Yeah, he's probably just looking for some RDIs now, or a legwork or something like that. Ollie's probably not very happy about this.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, he has what is presumably a scoring remote.
Suddenly looks a lot more vulnerable when you look at that Katie.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is why I think Alex White was running Snatch and Grab in his RP deck in the Manchester Regionals.
Well, I would hate to go into too much detail because obviously we'll see footage later, but I really hate Snatch and Grab.
I think Snatch and Grab is amazing.
Yeah, it's a solution for the problem that is Katie.
One time, the guy, one of the newer players in Reading took the tag, and then I just double scorched him. The previous game, he'd just trashed Katie and not won after that.
So, do you find this strange timing? So, Ollie has installed the double advance in this remote. The turn after, it looks like Seb is basically set up and ready to start running.
I think Ollie's just resigned to playing side games right now.
Maybe that's the case.
He might have an Excalibur there, which, Seb can't
and
break.
he's got a lot of credits, so, he can pay side games, he can pay traces or whatever.
As if RP needed
And he
to
can
get
res
any
all the
stronger.
ice.
Excalibur release. Just brutal.
Excalibur's
Brutal
great.
piece of ice. So now it's kind of confusing. The piles are starting to merge together.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Hate this.
Okay.
Sloppy.
Yeah, so they decided to take all this stuff off the table. It was a bit of a mess. So, So as expected, Leela took the Katie. He ran R&D.
Just
Sorry, HQ. He ran HQ to see the pup and it just acts as an Eli. But that's his central.
Seb's got an RDI in hand.
That's true. So you think he could start pressuring R&D?
He'll try and maintain an R&D lock.
I think he's going to try and access
at the
this.
same time.
You access this server first, though, right? Okay, so he runs on click 3 on the remote, which means that he can run again. Do you need to?
Yeah.
So
He's got enough money. He might take a double punt at this TFP.
So Zoo does good work against Lotus. As the spreadsheet, there was a Caprice inside the remote.
What a shocker! Balance card, great card, boys.
And he reses Wall of Thorns, another Wall of Thorns.
Man, he's running 2. Wow.
So you can break, which can be broken with Corroder, of course. So
It's quite taxing for Corroder.
So it's time for a side game.
Netrunner Butler coming in here.
That's
Brendan's
Caprice.
hand on the bottom right of the
That's right, yeah. As he tries to take it to the 6 credits to 15. So, like, the full range available.
Ollie's really good at side games. I don't think I won like 1 against him. on
And
that
Seb
day.
won it 2-2. So he actually did win the
Wow.
side game, which meant that he could steal. He was an APD. He's not even a future
That's
perfect.
so bluff. That is great.
But he took it, of course, to pay and bounced and trashed Caprice as well, because you always trash Caprice.
So we've seen Ollie come back from worse than this with RP, but
That's true. We have. He's lost 2 agendas, but they're both NAPDs.
that's okay though. You're in a much worse situation if you lose a future perfect early, because then
True.
they only need 2 accesses to win.
That's true.
Seb only needs 1, but the access he needs is a future perfect, which is always really annoying.
So an inside job on the Sunju. He could have broken it with Corroder. I mean, it would cost more, but keeping the inside job in hand, is that not beneficial? Maybe to get into a scoring remote when you're tight.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean,
I don't
Zoo isn't
play a lot
really
of
good
blue.
against Lotus Field.
Zoo is not very good against a lot of things right now. It's cheap to install. I prefer it to Gordian, but I guess it's probably the best option for splashing in Criminal.
So a whole bunch of drawing for Leela, who's trying to get set up again.
Starts clicking Katie again. I mean, you just look at the devastating economic impact of that turn for Seb.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, he had a huge... I mean, he spent almost all of his money, but he trashed Sunju, took the agenda, trashed Caprice.
Yeah, I mean, getting the Caprice trash is just so
a
satisfying.
lot of ice was raised as well. So yeah, it's a big swing. So do we feel like Leela's on the front foot at this point? I mean...
I think Seb is going to money up a bit, install RDI, go to town on R&D.
Yeah, I guess he just needs... he needs 3 points, so you could get it from a lucky side game from R&D, for sure.
Yeah, or, I mean, there's no Niseis out, right? So they're the easiest steals from R&D.
Yeah, that's true. Does he suspect that... should he suspect that there might be James in HQ? because it's been a little while since
He knows there's a TFP, right? Because Ollie...
he did see it. That's true.
Ollie
He saw it,
celebrity gifted
and
it.
he bluffed it out as an NAPD.
I don't know if you really want to take punts on HQ to steal to find a 1 in 5 TFP and then have like a bunch of really difficult side games to take.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, maybe a legwork.
That's fairer, and you might get a Nisei or something, which will set Ollie back a lot.
If he waits a couple of turns. If he waits a couple of turns and Ollie doesn't install anything, then he can be pretty confident there's going to be an agenda in HQ. So
the density is quite low in this deck. It's only 9 agendas, so it's kind of rough. Though not as rough as the Blue Sun game we spoke about previously.
yeah, that's right.
Brandon Netrunner butlering. Ollie having to do his own heavy lifting. Poor man.
So just credits from RP. I guess just trying to maybe establish a solid base to start pushing things through. I mean, you feel like maybe he wants to put more ice on that scoring remote. He's waiting for a Caprice, probably.
I'm somewhat surprised that he didn't like try and push out the TFP or something. But I suppose he needs a Caprice again. I'm not sure if he was running interns.
So Res and Marcus, but Corey will take care of that. So he's running an HQ. So
that's a 5 credit. That's a 5 credit tax every time for 5 credits to res those ice plus the 1 for the extra install.
And it'd obviously take him below enough money for say an NAPD or for a good side game. So
this is what Ollie's RP deck is all about though, like efficient taxing ice.
So he's access for 2, so he can play side game. Just an Eli though.
Yeah. Shut down, nice.
So that was obviously his reason for running HQ more than an access, but it's just taking 8 credits away.
That's a huge turn.
It would be nice to do that on a turn when there was something in that remote, so that you could run it.
I think he's just trying to keep Ollie's economy under check.
Yeah.
He might have a second emergency shutdown.
Yeah, he may do. Would you have played it though? Would you have played both in the same turn? He had a click left. He used click K2
I know
instead.
he lost 1 to the heap, but he has got a same old thing on the table. So
I'm not sure I like same old emergency shutdown. I feel like I prefer to see it for bursty things like legworks, that kind of thing.
Sometimes you want it. I don't know. It's just one of like the 4 amazing criminal event cards. Siphon, legwork, shutdown, and inside job. I think Gordon calls them the Golden 4 or something ridiculous. He'd know, he plays nothing but criminal.
Yeah.
I think Seb's just clicking KE, he'll put the RDI down and then just start pummeling R&D.
That's right, yeah, he's obviously building up. We know he's got at least 1 R&D interface. I think I saw him draw a legwork as well, so we know that pressure can come. He just needs to wait.
It's like quality time in his hand.
There's a dirty laundry, I'm not sure what else you can say. I'd be surprised to see quality time again.
I quite like it in criminal because you can afford to play it. It's only 1 influence.
Okay, that's fine with me, so long as it's TOS.
So, yeah, as we say, he's just loading up really.
So Ollie installed over the Wall of Thorns because it's gone.
Yes,
shut down.
I believe he trashed
No
it.
interest in resing it again.
That's right. So, and he has now installed a 3rd ice on the remote, on a nominal scoring remote. So, so Seb clears Katie, so he's boosted
This
straight
might
up.
be the RDI turn.
Yeah, maybe he might try to. Well, I mean, let's see. So you're talking 4 credits or 2 clicks to get into R&D plus some unknown amount. He's got the money. So it's a legwork. So it's been a couple of turns. So he's hoping maybe he gets future perfect with a side game, or you never know.
As you predicted, Johno, he waits a few turns and goes for the legwork. I mean, the fear for Ollie here is if he has a Nisei in hand, then it's just game, and there it is.
And there is. So he's lost Nisei. So the trick is that when Leela bounces, it does go up into HQ during the access. So.
Oh, it's not game. Sorry, yeah.
No, it's gone up to 6. Yeah. So he's gone up to 6. So he's still looking for 1 more point. So we've got a future perfect. So we have a side game.
Seb with the hot hand.
Seb obviously won the last side game. We knew the future perfect was in HQ.
Ollie's going to have to come up big here.
And it's 0-1, so Ollie spent nothing and Seb spent 1, so the Future Perfect is safe. And we get one more access in the legwork.
It's
pup.
pup.
So,
Yeah.
so you know there's Future Perfect in HQ. I think you leave it there. I mean,
you just leave it. And
eventually
start
he'll get
hitting
desperate
R&D.
and put it down if you really want to wait that long.
Seb's
but
in an amazingly strong position right now.
I think, yeah. I mean, I don't.
He's not even poor, right? Like that legwork
That's it.
didn't cost him that much. Here comes the RDI.
So that's it. So on click 3 drops the R&D interface,
He'll probably pay the 4 Well,
and he dirty launches R&D. So
so strong.
so he's going to get the money, but he's going to see 2 cards.
He's got 4 credits. That's the magic number.
That's right. He gets his Desperado credit as well. So he sees mental health clinic and decides with his trash. He needs to keep 4 credits, right? And that's why.
Yeah.
So he accessed the mental health clinic and left it so that he would still have 4 credits.
Ollie looked like he was a bit flooded.
Thanks to
He
the
put some
NAPD.
Mitre down.
Yeah, he kind of had some issues setting up, and Leela timed very well. The tempo was just right. It was a kind of attack and then sit back for a bit and build up, and then another big sweeping attack. And do you feel? I mean, I feel like Ollie tried to bluff out the NAPD as a Future Perfect to try. Was the timing bad? I mean, he knew that Seb was in a great position. Did he think he'd get in and not have 4 credits? It seems strange.
I don't know.
Strange timing.
I don't know, because I'm not sure what the bluff was about there, really. Because
Seb knew that he had a Future Perfect, so he put it down maybe to think that he would not have to have 4 credits when he accessed or something.
I suppose. I just think you don't need to bluff it. You just pretend it's either a Nise or an NAPD. Because he already knows he has the TFP, and as soon as it gets either stolen or scored, he's going to know that there's another agenda in hand, right?
Yeah,
so
maybe
it
that's
doesn't
true,
last very long, the bluff.
Yeah, that's true. I guess
not sure.
he's trying to draw out a run and hope that Seb miscalculated.
I
Anyway,
think that was it. I think he just tried to tax him with that run.
so
Which he did.
So yeah, we've seen Ollie's deck a few times now, but it was not a very successful game from that one. Seb did well. Leela was good. So it's Seb then, having beaten Ollie, that moves into the finals to play Neil. And that will be it'll be flipped because of the requirements of the double elimination. So Neil's Valencia were playing against Seb's Blue Sun.
Excellent.
So we have not yet seen Neil's Valencia. We obviously saw Joey's Valencia.
Crazy deck.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's brilliant.
We also saw Joey's Valencia early in the tournament. They were the only 2 Valencia players on the day. But they both did really well, and Valencia did really well for both of them.
It's a strong idea, I think.
But obviously, as we saw in the last one, Seb's Blue Sun deck is
Monstrous.
deadly to play against. So, yes, I'm really looking forward to that one. So, hopefully we'll see you guys next time as well, as you watch. I'll see you next time.